Our hero closes his eyes and lowers his head, saying, "Really, the starry sky is so big that there are all kinds of people." And the moment he says that, he opens his eyes again and puts a finger near his mouth, thinking to himself, "Honestly, I'm a transmigrator too. I just happen to be reborn. But compared to this Kain Yushu, I'm far inferior." He even comes with his own cultivation system. Right after thinking that, he says to Far, "Far, I want you to keep a close eye on this person." Hearing our hero's words, Far looks at his screen and says to him, "Even if you didn't tell me, I'd pay attention to him. In fact, there are quite a few people who are interested in him. That guy is too mysterious and has even attracted the attention of people across the galaxy. If he hadn't jumped out to participate in the competition this time, no one would have had any clue about his situation." Hearing Far's words, our hero becomes a little serious and thinks, since he's participating in the competition, he's probably here for the resource rewards. He probably doesn't have as many resources as I do. Just then, a mark starts appearing on our hero's chest, shining brightly. That mark was none other than the ID card Far had created for our hero. That ID card slowly comes out from his chest and starts glowing in the air. Seeing that, our hero becomes very surprised. Then the ID card fully completes its formation, and our hero holds it in his hand and starts looking at it carefully. At that moment, Far says to him, "The ID card has been generated, which means the draw for the semifinals has begun." While listening to Far's words, our hero looks behind him. After looking back, he thinks, "Are these beams of light the contestants?" And right after thinking that, our hero looks at his ID card, where it says, "Contestant Lu Sheng, please go to Arena W4 985. While our hero is still reading his ID card, Far looks at the screen and becomes extremely shocked. Sweat starts forming on his forehead, and he says to our hero, "What? The list of contestants assigned to the same arena as you is out already. There are actually 3 level 11 warriors. It's a bit troublesome. Lu Sheng, would you like to see their information?" After hearing his words, our hero stays completely relaxed and says to Far, "There's no need." The moment he says that, Far takes out something from his hand and shows it to our hero, saying, "What about combat glasses? Wear them, they'll definitely be useful." After hearing his words and looking at that item, our hero shows no reaction and just keeps looking at it carefully. A few seconds later, our hero disappears from that place. After our hero leaves, Far looks a little scared and says, "Hey, Lu Sheng, 3 11th level opponents, how did the organizing committee divide the groups? This feels like a setup." At that moment, the scene shifts. Bright lights flash inside the fighting ring, illuminating the vast arena. Our hero, along with several other fighters who are about to battle, steps into the arena. Then, an energetic announcement echoes throughout the stadium. "Ladies and gentlemen, the first round of the semifinals has begun, and all contestants have entered the competition venue. This round of competition will feature all the top-seeded players from the 12-star regions. Who do you think will win?" The voice rises with excitement. That's right, our most talked-about contestant, the first super genius in millions of years across the 12-star regions to possess a transcendent life constitution that's reached the immortal rank. The announcer's voice grows even more intense as he proudly introduces, from the sub-Jupiter region, Lu Sheng. The moment the crowd hears our hero's name, the entire stadium erupts in thunderous cheers. Everyone begins shouting in support of him, waving banners and flags. Among the crowd, his family members are also standing proudly, their eyes filled with excitement and faith. The scene cuts back to the fighting ring. Lu Sheng was being watched by countless people, and even the 10 contestants on the stage couldn't help but glance toward him, whispering and pointing. One of the fighters, smirking, says, "When I first saw the grouping results, I thought it was someone with the same name, but I didn't expect it to really be this person." Another fighter laughs nervously and adds, "That scared me." Then, a female fighter shakes her head and says bitterly, "I ran into the immortal right at the beginning." While they talk among themselves, our hero stands calmly at the center of the arena, relaxed and unbothered. I feel like I've become a target of public criticism, he thinks, with a faint, amused smile. Suddenly, the announcer's voice booms again throughout the stadium. What incredible power does the immortal rank possess? I believe everyone must be very curious. Let's take a look at Lu Sheng's opponents. There are 3 level 11 contestants and 6 elite level 10 players, while our Lu Sheng is only level 10. Can he withstand the attacks of such a formidable group of opponents and successfully advance to the next round? Let's wait and see. As soon as the announcement ends, all the warriors begin to prepare for battle. Energy bursts flare up around them, and killing intent fills the air. Outside the fighting ring, Far appears, watching the scene unfold. The moment he sees the lineup of fighters standing against Lu Sheng, his face turns pale. He starts trembling, eyes wide with disbelief, and exclaims angrily, "Where did the publicity department dig up this idiot? This is sabotage." This round's 10-to-1 format was originally designed to have 10 people compete together to select a single ultimate winner. He clenches his fists, his voice full of frustration. Since it's a free-for-all, it means that no one has a clear opponent, but this host directly pushed Lu Sheng to the opposing side of 9 people. No matter how you look at it, Lu Sheng is being forced to face 9 opponents head-on. Otherwise, even if he wins in front of everyone, the aura of being an immortal rank bloodline bearer will lose much of its shine. What an idiot! At that moment, the scene shifts again inside the fighting ring. The warriors standing opposite Lu Sheng begin to laugh. One of them smirks and says, "They seem to want us to join forces to attack that person." The moment the first warrior finishes speaking, another fighter beside him crosses her arms and says confidently, "To be honest, I'm also curious about how strong the immortal bloodline really is. It's said that beings with a transcendent rank life constitution can kill enemies of higher ranks as easily as eating or drinking. As for the immortal rank," before she could even finish, her power begins to surge. A powerful aura bursts out from her body, swirling violently around her as her eyes glow a bright, eerie green. Then another warrior clenches his fists and lets out a sharp exhale. His energy erupts as well, surrounding him with a fierce, shimmering aura. He grins and says, "With our 3 level 115s and 6 elite level 105s, it's not exactly bullying the underdog, is it?" As soon as he finishes speaking, every warrior on the stage unleashes their power at once. The atmosphere inside the ring changes instantly. The ground trembles, energy storms sweep through the air, and the entire fighting stage fills with thick smoke and roaring pressure. Colorful auras explode around each fighter, painting the scene in dazzling hues of red, blue, and gold. Their combined power shakes the entire arena as they all begin advancing toward Lu Sheng, ready to attack. Watching them prepare, our hero simply smiles. With calm confidence in his eyes, he says softly, "So everyone wants to see what immortal rank is made of." And with that, Lu Sheng releases his power. A sudden crack of thunder tears through the arena, lightning flashes across the stage, and a golden aura bursts out from his body, expanding in all directions like a raging storm. Electric arcs dance through the air as his energy continues to rise higher and higher. The pressure is so immense that a force field forms around him, distorting the air itself. The crowd gasps in astonishment. Even from the stands, they can feel the crushing might of his power. Inside the ring, the warriors' expressions shift from confidence to pure shock. One of them stammers, What kind of power is this? This guy is terrifying." Before anyone can even react further, Lu Sheng lifts his leg high into the air and then stomps down with overwhelming force. The entire arena quakes violently. Cracks spread across the ground like lightning bolts, and a massive shockwave erupts outward, sweeping through the ring like a hurricane. The powerful force launches all 9 warriors into the air, throwing them in every direction. One by one, they crash to the ground, defeated almost instantly. In just a single strike, every warrior is down. One of them, barely conscious and trying to steady himself, mutters weakly, "We lost so quickly. We didn't even get the chance to start fighting." Not far away, the announcer, who had been watching everything, stands frozen in disbelief. His voice trembles as he says, in a single move, he defeated them all. On the other side, our hero stands tall and calm amidst the destruction, a faint smile on his face. He raises his finger proudly toward the sky and declares, "Please, try your best to defeat me." After defeating everyone, our hero moved forward from the arena, and seeing everyone defeated at once, the entire audience was completely stunned. They couldn't understand what was happening with just one move. He cleared everyone on the stage. "Isn't this an exaggeration?" someone exclaimed. On the other side, Pavlov Sebastian, who was watching our hero's match, was equally shocked. This is immortality. This must be the power of immortality, he said, his voice trembling in disbelief. Beside him, Icalizia was also present, and seeing this, she muttered in astonishment. The immortal bloodline represents royal majesty. At the same time, on the stage where our hero stood, he had cleared the entire arena in a single strike. Far, too, was left speechless. This is beyond ridiculous. Every single worry I had before was completely meaningless. This power is the power of immortality. Countless powerful experts had their eyes filled with fervor and excitement. Lu Sheng's dominance, strength, and terrifying aura, all of it perfectly embodied their imagination and admiration of an immortal-level bloodline. King, who was watching her brother's match, was overjoyed. "My brother is truly so strong and so handsome," she said, smiling proudly. Beside her, our hero's parents were also standing, both incredibly happy after watching their son's match. His mother smiled softly and said, "So, our son has already become so exceptional, unmatched in the entire world. Is this really our son? It's unbelievable." Dong Qingsu, who was standing nearby, also said, "Very good, Lu Sheng, very good." Meanwhile, the warriors who had lost on stage couldn't believe what had happened. One of them shouted angrily, We didn't even have the chance to strike before losing. Isn't he just level 10? We couldn't even stand in front of him. Damn it all." No one could believe how this happened. Everyone had already realized they couldn't possibly win this match. So, one after another, many warriors began to surrender and give up the fight. The referee, hearing this, shouted excitedly to everyone, "Oh, the match ended just as it began immortal level. This is the genuine power of the immortal level. Who in the world can fight against Lu Sheng? Stay tuned to find out." At the same time, in another arena of the tournament, another battle was underway. A warrior there gathered all his opponents before him and, with just a snap of his fingers, wiped them all out. Watching this, the referee there also shouted excitedly to the audience, "Hill Star Region Manhwa wins." Just like the contestant Lu Sheng in the neighboring arena, he too defeated the entire stage in one strike. That warrior had also been paying attention to our hero's fight, and now he could no longer wait. He wanted to face our hero as soon as possible. Across many arenas, other warriors were also fighting fiercely. As word of our hero's victory reached them, all of them became eager. Each one of them wanted to fight Lu Sheng. In the middle of one of these fights, a warrior shouted passionately, "Immortality! I will personally prove immortality to forge my own glory." On Lu Sheng's side, he continued progressing steadily through the round's second round, third round, but not a single opponent could withstand even one casual strike from him. It was as if he won every battle effortlessly, like blowing away dust. The only thing Lu Sheng couldn't do anything about was the tournament host. It felt like the host was deliberately focused on him. Every time Lu Sheng stepped onto the stage, all the cameras immediately turned toward him, and the host would start screaming into the mic like a madman, hyping up the crowd non-stop. After Lu Sheng's victory, the referee burst out laughing in excitement and shouted, "Contestant Lu Sheng wins again. Look here, contestant Lu Sheng, give us a smile." Seeing such antics, our hero grew slightly irritated, thinking to himself, "I seriously feel like punching this guy to death." watching our hero's matches, Far chuckled and said, 3 rounds of semifinals have ended, and Lu Sheng has completely swept through them with ease. Now, only a little over 40 contestants remain, all of them above level 11. Lu Sheng is the lowest level 1 here, yet in 3 rounds, he's treated every opponent like they're nothing. My God, the immortal level is even more terrifying than I imagined. After so many victories, Ikealizia turned to Pavlov Sebastian and said, Lu Sheng has now earned everyone's recognition. No one dares to look down on him anymore. His predicted championship rate has skyrocketed to first place, surpassing even Monroe, who originally held the top spot. Pavlov Sebastian, now looking more serious, replied, What comes next will be one-on-one battles, real confrontations against the strongest warriors from every star domain. After that, the story shifts back to our hero. After winning several matches in a row, he receives a notification about his next opponent. A message appears, Please check your ID card to see the name of your next opponent. When our hero checks his ID, he sees the name Binglong displayed on it. Instantly, both of their photos appear on the large display screen, and the referee shouts excitedly, The first match of the 4th round of the semifinals is going to be so interesting. It's an internal duel between 2 geniuses from the Yamu Star region. The audience erupts in excitement, shouting and cheering, eagerly waiting for the battle to begin. Binglong steps onto the stage with a confident smile and says teasingly, This time, you won't have any excuse to back out. Hearing her words, our hero smirks and calmly replies, Aren't you tired of pretending like this, Binglong? Confused, Binglong frowns and asks, What are you talking about? I don't understand. Our hero laughs, his tone turning sharp with anger as he says, You're scared to death inside. Yet you still act like you're eager to fight me. Lying to yourself like that, doesn't it bother you at all? Hearing this, Binglong bursts into laughter, pretending to be unbothered. Then, with a mischievous grin, she says mockingly, I'm so scared after hearing your words. Actually, you're the one who's afraid that you won't withstand even a few of my strikes. Afraid of losing face in front of your parents and family. Lu Sheng simply looked at her calmly, as if watching a poorly acting clown perform. Whether he was truly afraid or not, perhaps only Binglong herself knew deep down. Enraged, Binglong shouted, You bastard! When have I ever been afraid of you? I've long been waiting for this battle. Come on. She drew her sword and unleashed her skill phantom sword dance. Countless swords made of aura appeared around her, spinning rapidly and flying toward our hero. But our hero only laughed at the sight. Increasing his own aura, he raised his hands and, one after another, shattered all the aura swords coming at him. Then, as Binglong charged in, he caught her real sword between his fingers and snapped it effortlessly. Binglong froze in shock, her eyes wide with disbelief. She couldn't comprehend what had just happened. Our hero smiled and formed a powerful punch, saying, Well then, are you ready to face the consequences? The sheer force of that punch terrified Binglong. Fear overwhelmed her, and she quickly shut her eyes. As the punch came closer, she panicked and shouted her surrender. At that moment, our hero stopped his fist just inches away from her. Then, smiling calmly, he placed a hand on her trembling shoulder and said, Next time you try to hold out, remember to control your breathing and heartbeat. Also, about that dinner you treated my whole family to, let's consider that debt repaid. Binglong's hands and legs were trembling uncontrollably. Terrified, she collapsed to her knees. By then, our hero had already taken a few steps forward, walking away from her. Binglong slowly looked up from the ground, her eyes still trembling, watching his back as he walked away.